All right, and a pleasant good morning to you coming from Tony'sPicks.com, and welcome to Night Moves here for Sunday, January 25th. Get ready for Championship Sunday here on Sunday with our two big NFL games, including the New England Patriots and the Denver Broncos, as well as uh, Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams. Thank you for coming in and checking in with me. We'll preview a few other games along the way as well, including NBA, NHL, and I think we can find 3 basketball games out of the 6 in college basketball tomorrow to preview. But thank you for coming by and stopping by, and we'll recap a little bit of the action from Saturday, a wild Saturday night. And man, it was an exciting interim lightweight championship bout between Justin Gaethje and not ready for prime time Paddy Pimblett. Maybe rushed to the scene here a little bit to get this title shot with Topuria sidelined, and he got matched up here with the veteran and Gaethje. And man, Justin Gaethje, the former interim champ, two-time interim champ, put it down on Paddy there in the ring, in the octagon on Saturday night, as Gaethje got the win by unanimous decision there on the cards to take that one. And then another good one there earlier with O'Malley and Song Yadong, a close one for sure there, as that one ended up going to O'Malley. But man, what a close one that was. And O'Malley gets the win there over Song Yadong. That one was close on the card, certainly closer than the $2 price tag there in that one. But O'Malley gets the win. And yeah, he did say looking for that title shot against Peter Yan later this year. So good night over there with the UFC. Let's go over to Tony'sPicks.com and see how we did over there on Saturday night. I'll take a look at my picks over there. Let's bring it up here and take a look at the results with me. I think I had one of my plays was canceled in there. I just went with all UFC. I went with 4 plays in the UFC on Saturday, but we had that Hernandez and Johnson fight on our card last night, but that one got canceled there with the injury there. It looked like it might be canceled going in, but it was on there the whole time. However, eventually the word kind of leaked out there and it ended up being canceled. So we did go 2-1 though with our picks. Let's take a look over there with I had the over there with Gaethje and Pim. Whoa, it says I lost. Okay, well, hey, can't win them all. Did have the over there at 2.5, but the system gave me a loss there. That's okay. We'll fix that up real good. We did have the over as our premium pick here in the fight between Gaethje and Pimblett. Also, I had the over there, you see, with Arnold and Silva there. And man, I had Bukauskas over Krylov in the other pick that I had there. Bukauskas a favorite, but I didn't really have it. Krylov was definitely the best there in that one. So 2-1 yesterday with Tony's picks. We'll fix that up though. I think I went 2-1. I watched that whole fight, and I think it went all 5 rounds, 5 good rounds there. Certainly with Gaethje and Pimblett. Pimblett have to repack and retool and rethink what he can do right now with his career there. After the loss to Gaethje there. He looked good against some other guys, but who were they really when you think about it? Guys like Michael Chandler and King Green in there, Tony Ferguson. So it wasn't really maybe the pedigree or the past performances that you want from a fighter, as Pimblett was just overmatched there by Gaethje. So, all right, that's okay. We'll fix that up. Hey, head on over to Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 15% off those premium pick packages, including mine here on Championship Sunday. We'll have some action there over at Tony's Picks. Use that promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 15% off the premium pick packages, and check out all of our handicappers. Check out the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot for the action there. Hey, welcome back to Bo Dunn. It's great to have Bo here back on the site. Great capper. We paired with Bo plenty of times before, and a nice day for Bo in his return here to go 4-0. Ron Hahn 3-0 there also. Uh, Brian Bitler up there 4-0. DeAndre had a winner in his only pick on Saturday. Got to check out our man DeAndre to see what he did. He had Texas Tech just as we did here on the show yesterday. So great job, DeAndre. He picked his only winner, and man, good pick there, Texas Tech. Great job in that game. You see all the winners there over at Tony's Picks. So check out the handicappers, check out the upcoming tab. Find out the latest matchups coming up. You see Ron Crawford loaded up in some EPL there action there for tomorrow, and the other handicappers over at Tony'sPicks.com. So check us out over at Tony's Picks. We're going to preview the action here in the NBA, NHL, NFL, might as well, here for Sunday. So get your picks and comments ready in the chat. I like to feature them on the screen as we go along. I want to say hello and welcome to Old Gapper here, our man over there from the UK. And there's Tim as well early. Timmy Two Shoes is here tonight. Talk a little sports and sports betting with me. Here's Andre. He's good morning there. He went 3-0 there. Mr. Wesker is touting Gaethje there in the chat. Cinefigured Out's here tonight. Hello to Cinefigured Out. Good to see you back here as always. And he says, why is the line only 4 for the Denver game? We'll talk about it here in just a moment. All right, we did have some other plays, other winners here with the action on Night Moves last night. Man, we had some winners here in the NBA for sure. How about it with our card last night? We had the under with the Knicks and the Sixers, a winner here on the show yesterday. We also had the Wizards against the Hornets for a winner on Night Moves. The Wizards were able to get that covered, just kind of the way we dialed it up there. Hornets did get the win, but the Wizards did get the money there in that one. Final score in that game was a 119 to 115. So they were getting a dozen easy cover there here on Night Moves. Also, we had the winner, Boston and Chicago game to go under. 114 to 111 was the final there as that last second shot by Herter gave the Bulls the win on Derrick Rose's jersey retirement night. Also, Lakers and Mavericks. Game total under, we scored there with that one. Lakers, big comeback in that one. They were down a dozen there late and came back to win. And Miami and Utah game to go over. I think Miami helped that one with 147 to 116. So how about it? A 5-1 performance by me here on Night Moves last night. We'll take that. Also, we did it in the NHL as well. So we should have a great crowd in here. If I'm your hot capper anyway. We had Buffalo there yesterday, and their win against the Islanders also brought it home with the Utah Mammoth 5-2 win over Nashville. We rocked that one. We had Columbus there last night as well. Columbus with the win 8-5. They scored 8 goals on hot Tampa Bay there yesterday. How about Carolina? Another winner for us here on the show. 4-1 over Ottawa. Canadians and Bruins game to go over. Yeah, it did go over there in the 4-3 win for Boston there yesterday. So pretty good day. Brought home some winners here in the NHL. And college basketball, man, great card yesterday. Lots of great games. How about Rick Pitino got his 900th win as a college coach with the 88-83 win over Xavier. Xavier led the game with 17 minutes left. They led by 16, but St. John's came back to win their 6th in a row. They lead the Big East with an 8-1 record right now. UConn needed a bit overtime to beat Villanova in that one. UConn keeps winning, but they are 0-6 against the spread. They're just like too many points. They win the game, they don't cover. It's pretty much automatic. Georgetown beat Providence to snap a 6-game losing streak. The Friars are struggling here a little bit all of a sudden. DePaul beat Seton Hall 67-60. So UConn in first place at 9-0. St. John's 8-1. Creighton and Villanova 6-3 in the Big East. SEC action. Missouri beat Oklahoma 80-87 as Missouri hit that three-pointer at the buzzer for the walk-off victory there in that one. Auburn over Florida 76-67 for a big upset there as Auburn won its third in a row to move to 4-3 in the SEC. Florida fell to 5-2 as they lost for the first time in 6 games. Vanderbilt snapped their 3-game skid after being 16-0. They beat Mississippi State 88-65. So Texas A&M's in front in the SEC with a 6-1 record. Arkansas, Florida, Kentucky are 5-2, a game back of the Aggies. Big 12 action. Texas Tech, of course, we just mentioned that win. Houston led actually late. It was go back and forth. Houston took the lead. Then Texas Tech was able to get it snapped. Houston's 11-game winning streak. And yeah, we had Houston here on the show last night. BYU over Utah 91-87. AJ DeBonsa, one of 3 monster games by freshmen across the country yesterday. He had 43 points in that one. BYU's won 5 in a row. TCU over Baylor 97-90. So Arizona leads the Big 12 with a 7-0 record. Texas Tech 6-1. Houston and BYU 5-1 right now. Mountain West, my San Diego State Aztecs. They hammered the Rebels 80-71. Miles Bird 23 points. He was knocking down the threes as well. Also New Mexico beat Nevada 80-73. Man, Jake Hall, you gotta see this guy if you haven't seen him for New Mexico. My man from Carlsbad High was able to have a pretty big game in New Mexico. Man, they have the old UC San Diego coach down there, Derek Owing, and they were able to beat Nevada 80-73. So San Diego State's 8-1 in conference play. Utah State, New Mexico game back at 7-2. San Diego State's only loss was controversial. They gave a Grand Canyon a phantom call and sent them to the line to win with 1 second left for their only loss of the season in conference play. Big Ten, Illinois rocked Purdue. We talked about the talented freshman around the country yesterday. Wagler of Illinois, 46 points as he hit 9 3-pointers in the game. And Illinois did beat Purdue. Not only did 3 freshmen scored over 40 points, 2 freshmen scored over 30 points across the country yesterday. Nebraska beat Minnesota 76-57 as Nebraska improves to 20-0. 20-0. They're 9-0 in conference play. Michigan State, Illinois, all 8-1. Purdue 7-2. So, man, big day here also. ACC action, North Carolina over Virginia, 85-80. Virginia led by 16 in the first half in that one, but North Carolina was able to come back despite the struggles with rebounding in that game. Clemson over Georgia Tech, 77-63. Clemson very balanced scoring there in that one. Duke 7-0, Clemson 7-1, Miami, NC State, Virginia are 5-2 in the ACC. Gonzaga had a scare from San Francisco, but they did win 68-66 as Gonzaga beat San Francisco for the 34th straight time. Gonzaga's won 14 in a row. Their only loss is to Michigan. Pacific over Seattle, 56-54. Pacific never trailed, but had to hold off a late rally. And St. Mary's over Portland, 75-69. The Gales have won 10 of 11. Gonzaga's 9-0. St. Mary's and Santa Clara 8-1. Rinse and repeat in the West Coast Conference, but that'll end next year as Gonzaga moves to the Pac-12. Missouri Valley, Illinois Chicago over Bradley, 85-70. The Flames are one of the best defensive teams in the nation. No one forces more turnovers in the Missouri Valley than the Flames. Northern Iowa beat Murray 81-76. So Belmont and Murray are both 8-2. Bradley is 7-4. It's important in that league because you know that league only gets one bid. Atlantic 10, Rhode Island over George Mason 74-67 as George Mason lost for the first time in 10 games. And George Mason here falls there they were hot, but man, they usually are pretty solid. They don't really turn it over at all. VCU beat Davidson 75-67, and St. Louis leads the conference 7-0. George Mason 6-1. VCU and Dayton are at 5-2. That's another pretty much a one bid league. Sunbelt Troy over Georgia Southern 83-78, and Georgia State beat Arkansas State 82-81. So Troy is 8-1 in the Sun Belt. They have a 2-game lead over Georgia State. Big West, Santa Barbara over Long Beach State 74-71. Irvine knocked off UC San Diego 61-59. So Irvine 7-2 in the Big West. There, Hawaii. Did we get the final yet? There in Hawaii, I think they were in action here late tonight. Southland, Stephen F. Austin over Lamar, 88-81, and McNeese beat New Orleans, 82-63. So Stephen F. Austin's 10-1, McNeese is 9-2, and on the horizon, Oakland beat Detroit, 95-87. Green Bay over Robert Morris, 71-67. So Wright leads 8-2, Oakland 8-3, Fort Wayne 7-3, and Horizon League, of course, just a one bid league. So it's all about that conference tournament. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining me here, and going to be getting down to the action here right now in the NFL. But I want to thank everyone in the chat for stopping in and stopping by as we get ready to go here right now. And we have a few other names come in here late, including Abel here. Thank you, Abel. West up 420. I think that's Abel anyway. West up 420. If not, it might be taking some proprietary names in there. Thank you for Humbly Favored in there. I like that name, Humbly Favored, making the first time live here with me. And let's see, who else is that? As we get ready to go here, I'm ready to go with our NFL previews of our two big games. Let me just look around here, make sure I don't miss any important information from you guys. Yep, really good to go there. Okay, appreciate that, you guys. All right, let's get ready to go here with our NFL preview right now. We'll talk two big games. I want to hear from you guys. We'll start it off in the AFC in Denver. We saw last night Robert Kraft. He loves UFC. He was taking in the game there at T-Mobile Arena before heading to Denver. I would imagine if you're Robert Kraft, you're going to stay in Las Vegas tonight because the massage parlors in Denver pale in comparison to those in Las Vegas. So maybe he'll leave in the morning. The Patriots favored here in this one by 3.5, and the total here 43 is a travel into Denver. Well, we know the major storyline here anyway with this game, and we'll break down some of the trends and information for sure here with this one. But unfortunately for the Denver Broncos, they'll have to be in there with their backup quarterback in this game after Bo Nix did go down with an injury, and he's just going to miss the rest of the season, unfortunately, with that broken ankle. I guess is what it turned out to be there. Jarrett Stidham, a veteran who has NFL experience. He might be Mr. Preseason, really. He's really terrific when he's out there, but hasn't thrown a pass this season, or I don't think last season either. So he'll come in a bit cold. Good call by Denver here. Unlike some teams that were in a late season push when their quarterback went down and they might have called on other, you think of what Joe Flacco's done recently with some teams and Phillip Rivers and his situation with the Colts. That's never going to be the case for Sean Payton and Denver. I mean, he's going to roll with this guy. In fact, it may be a little bit of a ego there for Payton as he says, hey, we can do it with any quarterback in there. Now, Stidham, probably even has a stronger, I would say, a stronger arm than Bo Nix. What makes Bo Nix so special? I mean, not only the ability to run, but when to run, I think, is what's made him so good. It's funny because Bo Nix, we think of him, I think he had a really solid season, but he still had several games where his, statistics really weren't up there, almost uh, uh, low numbers, if you will, with some of his passing yards, really, in some of the games. But then again, he also turned in big performances as well. So, Patriots are 15-1 in their last 16 with a 13-3 spread record in those games. Last four games, the Patriots have allowed just 10, 10, 3, and 16 points. And, Denver's offense is sometimes challenged, especially with this running game right now. There's only big question marks coming in with RJ Harvey here right now. Look, I like uh, Beatty, I like McLaughlin, but it's really supposed to be on RJ Harvey. But for some reason, it's not a matter of not only not getting the carries, but also not getting the yards on those carries. He's been a big underachiever, actually. And you're going two good run defenses in this game. I mean, Denver is a top two run defense in my mind, and also the Patriots. I've got them as a top seven defense here. So I think we tough on the run actually in this game. My favorite player actually probably in the entire game is Cortland Sutton. Of the Broncos here, I think Stidham might be able to find him here, but I think in general, my feeling is, and we've heard from plenty of experts and non-experts, probably like myself, but uh, talking about how Stidham can fill the void here for Bo Nix. I mean, he's a veteran backup for sure. He's been with this team, and I think that's what I was saying about it is that you're going to go with a man who's a little bit, at least very familiar with the program, and that's just how Sean Payton does his business, too. I think so. Look, I think between Sutton and maybe Marvin Mims Jr., they can stay in this game, but I just think it's such a big drop off from Nix to Stidham. Not necessarily that if Stidham wasn't, was a a starting quarterback in the league and had the repetitions every week, I think he might be okay in a matchup. This is the AFC Championship game. This is not a game where you're putting the guy in there. You are putting him in there for just the one game or more if they can win the game. But unlike the regular season where you might just need a guy for a week or two and get your starter back, there's a lot of pressure and you're playing more elite teams now. Maybe when you get thrust into the starting line if you don't have control, and you might be playing an elite team, but you might also be playing a subpar team. Here, you're playing one of the best teams in the league, obviously, in the New England Patriots. So, look, for the Patriots, Hunter Henry is probably my all systems go player maybe on this entire card. I think Hunter Henry, I would look to maybe even play Hunter Henry. I probably will a multiple touchdown. I'll probably take him as a two touchdown guy in this game tomorrow. I think he is the difference maker. This will be a great, Hunter Henry's had a great career already, a pretty good career, real good career. I feel like this might be the Hunter Henry game actually for the Patriots. We'll see, but it was Drake May, and if that running game of the Patriots gets held in check by the Broncos, like I said, I think the Broncos have one of the best run defenses here by far. So can Henderson and Stevenson kind of get off tomorrow? Maybe I should say it vice versa, right? Stevenson and Henderson. Henderson, I'm not saying he's been a no-show, but they've obviously turned to Ramondre Stevenson here for the most part. I mean, he's turned in basically 5 outstanding games in a row coming in. Yeah, maybe the statistics weren't there so much in last game, but remember the key catches he had. Not a lot of yards, but he was getting the ball at the right time. So, but I think for me, out of the wide receiver core, I'd probably prefer Stephon Diggs here. I mean, it's easy to say, but well, I think I prefer him over Keyshawn Booty and Demario Douglas. I'll remember Douglas had that explosive touchdown kind of get the game going last time, and kind of surprise everyone with his catches there anyway, right? To get that early touchdown. But I think, like I said, Hunter Henry for me, and Austin Hooper. Watch out. Austin Hooper might get some action. I think the Patriots rely on the tight ends a lot tomorrow in the game to take them here over the top on the Broncos. Patriots have also been putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, so we'll see if Stidham has the maneuvers, the moves like Bo Nix, because the Patriots have 13 sacks in the last 3 games overall coming in. So Drake May is obviously 2-0 in his playoff career, but he's going to have to go on the road here. Now Vrabel is 4-3 in the playoffs, 2-1 on the road in his coaching career. Patriots as a favorite, 10-3 ATS this season. So good numbers. We know what the Patriots have been bringing all season. It's been a great run. Can they get back to the bowl? Will Denver use that home field advantage to their advantage, if you will, right? Because that's kind of what they're going to need, it feels like right now, to be able to get this done here against this Patriots team without their starting quarterback. And they're talking about the Denver Broncos here. So Patriots have allowed their team total to go, their opponent's team total to go over just 2 times in 17 games, which is amazing, figuring the Patriots have gone over in 10 of their last 13. So Patriots have produced a lot of offense. They produced some blowouts too. Yes, their schedule was easier. That's why they had a lot of one-sided victories. But again, they've done some things that are historically in line with teams that do reach the Super Bowl, and the Patriots are trying to get there for the 12th time. So for Stidham, he's 1-3 as an NFL starter overall. And also, he was a backup, remember, for the Patriots, actually, back in before the I think before the pandemic, or maybe during the pandemic season, but originally drafted by the Patriots. So not a revenge thing or anything for Stidham. He's got other things to worry about here. For Peyton, 10-9 as a coach in the NFL playoffs. Of course, he does have a Super Bowl victory with the Saints, famously, and Denver 4-1 against the spread as an underdog this season. Underdogs covered 8 of their last 10 in the NFL playoffs. In their losses, Denver has given up some big points, and that's been a major concern with me because, their defense really has had some games that I've called this one a historical defense in some parts of the season, but some of these games, the more the season goes along, the more they've thrown in some clunkers here, at least giving up a lot of points. So maybe they were a victim of an easy schedule as well. You get to play the Raiders twice after all. But these teams have split their last 6 meetings overall. They've also split the last 6 played between the 2 teams here in Denver. This is the first time since 2017 that a road team has been favored in the conference title game. This series has gone over in 6 of the last 8 meetings, and over the last 6 years, the favorites are 7-4-1 in the conference championship against the spread. So I can hear from you if you'd like in the chat right now. Denver and New England here. For me, it's just too tough to overcome this quarterback situation. If Stidham does it, that's going to be awesome, man. It'll be a story here. Not only that, it'll put a lot of money in his pocket because he'll get to move on from this situation. If he's so good, this is right. We're hearing this. If he's so good, why is he a backup in the NFL? And you know what? There's a little bit of that makes sense a little bit. Of course, easy to say, right? Let's see what you guys have. Jerry Jones likes New England here, and Timmy Two Shoes likes the Patriots, and he's got Davis to get an INT. And also Jerry gives with his other pick there. May's got to get rid of the ball quicker or run when it's time to run, says Timmy. And Mr. Westwood says Stidham and May have the same experience really in this position. If you think about it, right? I mean, Stidham's been around enough years. Obviously, doesn't have the game experience that May has, but Stidham's been out here in the league for many years right now. Jerry says New England by 11. Timmy says that Bronco defense is going to be. Look, this is what the Broncos, they need to yuck it up, don't they? Right now, I don't think they're looking to get in a shootout. Although, look at the total. If you look at all these numbers across the board with the props, the game total, experts, bettors, they're expecting Stidham to come out here and, in my opinion, close to match May, or maybe even outpass him here, because look, his numbers are very high. They continue to move higher. The total on this game has moved from 40.5 to 43. The funny thing is, I don't think that's what Denver want, unless, hey, if Stidham comes out here and he's had us fooled the whole time, and no one took a chance on this guy and he lights it up, then that's fine. We'll credit him and say, but to see the way these numbers have moved here, look, they say that big games aren't about the big money; it's the public money, right? And this one has only continued to move higher. All of Stidham's props have continued to move higher, not only his attempts, his completions, and his yards. So bettors, odds makers are expecting a big performance from Stidham, more so than maybe what odds makers had originally set there. With those original yards, these numbers here, these yardage numbers and prop numbers have gone, I don't know, through the roof a little bit. I don't want to say it like that, like it's a big push, but there's definitely been increase in the numbers for Stidham and the offensive numbers here with some of the props. So Cinna Figured Out says, why is it only 4? And again, this we think of it right as, why is it only? I get that, but it's only 4 because the home field advantage is huge in this round. 4 is actually a very big number, for a conference champion. I know we've seen some, historical teams that have been favored in this game by more points than this. But in today's era, it's usually pretty close. Hey, hello to Devin in there. Jerry's got Seattle by 6. So I think the spread is just low enough for me to want to stay here with the Patriots and say they can get it done. I'm pretty sure that I'm on Denver if it is Bo Nix in there. What would the spread have been, right, with Bo Nix in there? I don't think that Denver would have been a massive favorite. In fact, you look at the look-ahead lines, right? It was relatively close between the two. All right, let's see here. Maybe 26-20. Andre says Stidham for an interception. Mr. Westwood says the Houston defense about the same as Denver, except no interceptions from CJ Stroud in there, but Bo Nix has had his issues with some interceptions as well. Let's see here. Hunter to get that TD. I'm going to take him for 2, I think, Timmy, also. I'll play the ATD and then go for another. Cinna Figured Out here says should be 7 or 10. And this one sounds like he likes the Patriots. Mr. Westwood likes Denver to win this one on the money line here. And Jerry says 24-18 there right now. And Mr. Westwood's starting to see some 4.5s here now. So might be going back up here all of a sudden. Mostly for me, I see 3.5 at Circa, 4 at Bet Online, 4 at Bovada, 3.5 at DraftKings right now. But Mr. Westwood starting to see some 4.5. So the money coming back there on New England right now. So Timmy says the Patriots have a decent pass rush. You could say that again. They really do have a decent pass rush. I think Patriots defense, I would say, I don't think you're overlooked when you reach this stage, but I think as a whole, you don't have the necessarily the big names, maybe like Denver does on their defense. And let's see here. Any more here? And maybe Nick Foles, a little Nick Foles magic in there, something like that. Mr. Wesker says May was pretty mediocre against Houston, right? And yeah, Houston defense very comparable, I would say, right, to Denver's. Now, I would have I would have said several weeks ago that Denver's defense was slightly better than Houston's, but I don't think I can make that claim anymore. And Peyton, does he have a coaching advantage here? Says Mr. Weskers, right? Uh, I think for me, I hope Peyton's ego doesn't get in the way here as it does so often with him there. Uh, we know that maybe Vrabel's Mr. Consistency or just the calm mind of the two there a little bit. And did you guys know that Coach Payton's daughter is actually a sports betting analyst. Ironically enough, Coach Payton's daughter, Megan, is actually a sports betting analyst. I think she's with DraftKings, or she's on some of those shows there. So, all right, Grable will have them good to go. Great comments from the chat here. Stidham interception, Harvey over in his receiving yards. Maybe the check downs. So that would be big, right? So for me, I don't like Harvey's rushing at all. I don't know if I even like Denver's rushing at all. Again, McLaughlin, who I thought would kind of get the kind of the carries there last time. He did end up with 4 carries for 21 yards, but remember, Denver kind of went away from the run, and maybe they shouldn't have in that last game. But I think for me, I like Harvey. Over in his receiving, but under in his rushing. You talk about exactly what Andre said there about the check down. So that's what I think is, Stidham. I don't think they're going to press him too much, but like I said, the yardage, the numbers kind of say that they are going to go. And one thing it is, if you have a strong arm like Stidham, it is easier to throw long passes than it is accurate short passes. Actually, obviously the bigger chances for a pick on some of those, but also you could just throw it as far as you can, not as far as you can, but hit your receivers with timing on deep routes. Okay, let's see here. Henry TD over in his catches. Thanks, Andre. Great plays in there. And Mr. Wesker says he just needs to not throw 5 interceptions like Stroud. I guess 4 would do it. If he only throws 4, maybe Denver is able to get that win. Andre here says May over in his passing and rushing yards. Timmy says Peyton probably wishes he had wacky Jameis Winston to back him up. Mr. West was Peyton's underrated or underestimated there. Yeah, maybe so. I think he's a good coach for sure. Mr. Westwood seems to be coach of the year this year. But let's see here. Take the Denver kicker in their field goal prop. No doubt, Andre. Look, I don't know. To me, Denver could get into a situation where they end up not I don't want to say not kicking, but Peyton may be in certain situations where he has to go for it. So that'd be the only thing I'd question. But the statistics would say that in Denver, look, it's easy to say because of the thin air and the kicks go farther and everything like that. But statistically, it's proven that the kickers excel here in Denver, especially as long as the weather's fine. This is where if you want to kick, we know that. But all right, here, let's see. Mr. West would be 2.5 with Knicks. So just goes to show you the disrespect of a guy like Stidham, right? That's a 6-point move. Bo Nix worth 6 points. I mean, is this Johnny Unitas out there? All right, Stevenson or Harvey. Hi to Denny Martez in the chat today. He's got an anytime touchdown. Kendrick Molo. Hi, Kendrick. Nice to see you. Watching on his cell phone here. And let's see here. Timmy Two Shoes. Over 4.5 field goals. I bet it's a decent price, Timmy. I think it sounds pretty good because, like I said, I think it's got to be for Denver. I think a muck it up is better here, right? I think Denver 19-17 is kind of like the direction that they need it to be, I think. Uh, like I said, although the numbers would indicate that yes, higher scores are more anticipated right now. Mr. West says, "Who do I have as coach of the year here? Uh, Vrabel or McDonald? No, we have McDonald too, right? I think Vrabel might be the preferred guy for me. I don't know." Andre says he thinks points will be at a premium in this game. That may indeed be the case. I mean, the total obviously here now at 43. Like I said, this opened 40 and a half. And, that was that was knowing that Stidham was going to be in the game. But what's happened here is that people have just shown a certain level of confidence here in Stidham this week, like the Broncos should not miss a beat. So, hey, if it happens, terrific. I'm going to take the New England Patriots here, -3.5. I think it is a big difference, actually, going from Knicks to Stidham here. Look, if it was a regular season game, we might be less inclined to not want to take a backup quarterback just because the nature of it's not as big of a deal here. But I think when you have everything magnified like the championship game, that's what's going to put me on the Patriots here in this one. I think you guys there, we got Andre, Denver, and the points. I think we got all the comments in from you guys. It'll take one or two more here if you want, and enjoy the AFC championship game. Cold conditions, but not horrible here, just 22 degrees. That's all there. Expected precipitation near the end of the game possible. It might be over by the time the snow flurries or the move in here, but there is a possibility near the end of the game for some snow. But for the most of the game, it's just cloudy conditions, but 22 degrees. Yeah, Denver's a little bit north of that big cold front, but it's Denver. It's cold. So, all right. Thanks, you guys. Great job with that one. And now let's move on to our next game here as we go out to the Pacific Northwest, where it's only going to be 43 degrees there. Perfect football weather. Come on. The Rams taking on the Seahawks here in Seattle. And do have the Seahawks here favored by 45.5 here in this one. And hey, wow, only 2. Why is it only 2? I mean, come on, these Seahawks have been awesome here of late. Now the Rams do have the X factor, and I think that man is Stafford and maybe Puka Nacua. I was talking earlier tonight with some friends and said, man, Puka Nacua really could have a monster game here. Look, they've got some other weapons on the Rams, but just feels like as the pressure is ramped up, man, they're really relying on Nacua. If anything, I do like the matchup for Nacua. I also call it neutral. The numbers are through the roof, but Nacua, they just might keep going to him. It feels like in this game, especially if the Rams are trailing it all. But also Devontae Adams, in the moment, who you're going to trust in a championship game like this. Could be some Devontae out there. Also, Tyler Higbee, Cody Parkinson. I don't mind the tight ends here. It's just a matter of can Stafford stay upright? Is he going to get pressured enough to be able to get the ball in a timely fashion to those guys? Or is he going to have to rely on shorter routes, getting the ball and hopefully getting those guys in space a little bit and maybe getting some yak as well? Because there's no doubt the Seahawks are bringing the heat. They do have that no-name defense. I think out of all the teams right now, their defense is the one, you don't know many of these guys' names, but they've been pretty strong here, obviously, this season. So, look, a lot of people said, why did the Rams abandon the running game last week? Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they did abandon it this week against this Seattle defense, a top 3 run defense. But for them to totally get away and make things so difficult on themselves last week when they were definitely running well. I mean, Kyron Williams had a great game. 21 carries for 87 yards, but they started to kind of go away from the run there a little bit. But tough matchup for Kyron Williams and Blake Corum. Everybody was saying, why isn't this guy uh, not even getting any touches actually there. It felt like in the last game. He did rush it six times for 19 yards against the Bears, but it felt like Corum, who has had games where he's like an impact player, but the Rams just had other plans. So remember when did anybody see the video where Oz the mentalist went in there and with Stafford, and they did that. You know how Oz the mentalist does it, right? And they said they would play that the Rams would play the Broncos in the Super Bowl and win 23-14. And when they asked Stafford who he'd throw the ball to, he was going to throw it to Williams and then to Smith, and their numbers were 24 and 13. And you know how Oz the mentalist blows your mind. And could it be 23-14 in the Super Bowl with the Rams over the Broncos, like Oz the mentalist said? For the Seahawks here, not much talk really about the fact that the Rams here, will have to stop the run game. And look, they don't have a great run defense, but when you have Kenneth Walker there running the ball, that should be pretty good. But not much has been talked about Zach Charbonnet here in the run-up in his injury. I mean, he's out for the season with a torn ACL last game, and really the Seahawks run game has been a 1-2 punch with Walker and Charbonnet. Yeah, I mean, I think of Walker as your top guy, but Charbonnet's been a great balance for a two-back set. Now, the secret play here for a lot of people is George Holani, who has not been active for the last 7 games. He really hasn't done too much overall. He did score a touchdown against Arizona earlier this season, but he's been sidelined with a hamstring injury, so he hasn't played at all. But there is some feeling that Holani here could be healthy enough to fulfill that backup role, maybe even be a touchdown vulture here in this game if they get close enough and go to him, because he's that kind of running back. So watch for George Holani in the game. Like I said, it's not a terrible matchup for the Rams and their for the Seahawks and their running game. Now, for me, JSN is set probably for a big game, I would think, against the Rams. I think they're going to have a problem containing JSN here in this game. But when you've got Stafford, man, and Puka, it just feels like the Rams are still going to be live in this game. But it has been a magical season for Seattle, and maybe they can just get over the hump here, minus the 2 points in this one. But I'm going to take the over as my play, actually, here on Night Moves. I think that the Rams just keep it coming here. We've seen the Rams struggle a little bit defensively. Yes, Seattle's got a great defense, but I think when you have Puka, I think when you have Devontae, yes, they have a great run defense, does Seattle, but these backs here are still pretty good, talking about especially Kyron Williams here. So I'm going to take over 45.5. Prime time overs in the NFC title game. In the afternoon title game are on a big run, actually. I think it's 16-4 in the last 20 years, the 6:30 p.m. game. So, I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason to that. Maybe it's just been the matchups themselves. But NFC title teams entering on a 7-game winning streak have lost 6 straight times right in the NFC title game. That's NFC title teams entering on a 7-game winning streak, teams in the NFC Championship. Those that have won 7 or more games in a row coming in have lost 6 straight times. So I don't want to jinx the Seahawks there, but Also, I would look down to Barner here. Pretty good matchup for him. I don't know if I'm totally in love with it here. Really, if I'm going to go one guy, it's JSN in prop land. But let me hear. Let me go to the chat. Let me see what you guys have here in this one. Rams have scored 34 more points in 5 of their last 7 games. They're 9-5 ATS in the last 14. McVay 10-5 in the playoffs. Stafford 7-2 in the playoffs. The Rams won their last 2 games, of course, to get here, but only by 3 points in each of those games. Rams an underdog for just the 3rd time this season. They are 1-1 ATS. Rams have gone over in 7 of their last 8. They've gone over in their team total in 13 of their 18 games this season. For Seattle, they've won 8 straight, 5-3 ATS in those games. Seahawks always that reputation for the great fans there. The 12s in Seattle, they've won 11 of their last 12 home playoff games, but you got Darnold here 1-1 now in the playoffs, and McDonald now just 1-0. Even the close game, even the losses, Seattle was close every time. I don't think they got blown out at all. They didn't lose by any more than 4 points in those 3 losses. The teams did split a couple of close games. Rams won 21-19 at SoFi, and Seattle won. Remember that incredible game, that memorable game with that crazy finish, 38-37. Seattle got that home win in that incredible game. Teams have split their last 8 meetings when playing in Seattle. Under has come in actually in 8 of the last 11 meetings. And in the last 6 years, as we said, favorites getting it done. Let's go to the chat. Pardon me. In this one, we want to hear from you. Here we go. In our evening game, Cinna figured out, says, should I do the 7 points in there? Okay, Andre says Rams points and money line and a little bit of an under. Timmy does like Parkinson all day long right there. Mr. Wesker said he is surprised by the line there. And Timmy says the Rams don't have to worry about Charbonnet because, he was looking pretty good. How about Terrence Ferguson for an anytime touchdown in there? Yeah, look, I think for the Rams here, the tight ends are definitely in play. All right, JSN to go bonkers. I agree, Timmy. I think this is it for JSN. I think we already know he's had a great season, right? But could he really arrive on the scene here with a big game, with a big breakout game? I won't say breakout. His numbers are incredible, but just feels like this is the one for JSN. Andre says Puka over in his yards and catches. Adams under his catches. Cup over for Seattle. Williams over receptions, receiving yards. Parkinson over. NJS over and Barner over. That sounds like an over from Andre. Also, it says Walker over. So it sounds like a high score from Andre's perspective. Yeah, a little bit of under in there. And Timmy says, they do focus on JSN, and, we'll see because, Rashid Shaheed did have the big special teams play, but it doesn't necessarily feel like he's involved in the offense too much. Cooper Kupp, obviously here, but really beyond that, that's all they have in the receiving core. Yeah, maybe Jake Bobo can get in there right there, and but maybe a little bit of thinness in Seattle, so you need some big-time JSN. Andre says Walker TD, Puka TD, Parkinson TD, Cup TD. Wow, that's 28 points right there, pretty much. I want to say hello to Hector Numba. He's got Broncos money line. He's got Seattle money line. He's got Broncos Seattle Super Bowl. All right. Timmy says he likes this one. A huge score there. Andre says both games to go under in the first half. Then it'll open up. And there's Hector. All right. Let's see what else here. Colby for a TD in there. Andre, Rams on the points. Okay. And let's see. Is that it from the crew? Mr. West was going to go with the Seahawks, though. says if the Mariners couldn't do it, maybe they can pick it up for Seattle. Look, Seattle deserves a champion. They've been to the bowl, obviously, a famous bowl game, but famous Super Bowl. Darnold to throw an INT, and it's tough, right? And look, our Darnold's been cleared, obviously, from this injury that kind of was talked about last week. Really didn't look like it, other than when he first got caught there and caught and had to limp off a little bit, but really didn't feel like it affected him too much, right? So he's persevered. He's persevered, and he's in his moment here, it feels like. All right. Stafford for over in his passing yards. It just seems like, the Rams maybe get a little pass happy and then just can't stop themselves. All right. How about Whittingham in there? Whittington, I think Andre means. Who did have it? Like he caught one series. I thought he caught a couple of balls in a row. And how about Verse for a sack? All right, you guys. Guess that's it from this one. I'll go over here in the game between Seattle and the Rams. Okay, you guys are done in the chat, so we'll get rolling here and talk. Oh, man, I tell you, it's a little bit of not a letdown. I love talking all these games with you guys, but talking NFL, and then we got to get our NBA in. But we need to get our NBA in, especially after such a great day yesterday in the NBA, and we'll get to it. Kings and Pistons here on Sunday. NBA action at 9:10 Eastern, 3:10 Eastern, and 12:10 Pacific. Let's just put our NBA game right up against the NFL Conference Championships. That's what we'll do with the Pistons here. Favored, yeah, but good thing the Lions aren't playing, right? The Pistons are the team now. Well, the Red Wings too, but. For Detroit here in this one, you got Detroit right now cooking 32-11 here coming in. They are coming in here off of a loss last time out to Houston the other night, 111-104. That snapped their winning streak. For Sacramento, meanwhile, they've lost 4 in a row here again, and it's not looking too good, if you know what I mean. For the Kings, man, just keeps going downhill right now for Sacramento. Consecutive losses here to Portland, Miami, Toronto, and Cleveland. But they did cover there against the Cavs the other day in a 123-118 loss. We had the Kings actually in that game. Kings, meanwhile, do come in here having gone 4-2 in their last 6 games against Detroit, but they have lost 8 straight on the road. Detroit's won 4 of their last 5. They're 2-4 against the spread in their last 6 games overall. Detroit has gone under in 10 straight games right now. Sacramento has gone over in 4 of their last 5. But you got to respect what Detroit is doing here. 9-14 to the under at home, 14-21 to the under as a favorite. They're not losing games, so they must be playing some kind of defense to keep these teams so low that they've gone under here in 10 straight ball games. Impressive. Sacramento, they've actually gone over here in 4 of their last 5 and 6 of their last 10. They're 11-10 to the over on the road, but they're also 19-23 to the under as an underdog. So look, I think Pistons kind of rock here and keep Detroit down. Whether or not they get the money, we'll see. They're only 16-19 ATS as a favorite. We know that Sacramento's been a terrible spread team as well, but they have started to pick it up here of late, covering in 6 of their last 10 games, although just 1 of their last 4. So give me the under, though, here in this one with the Kings and the Pistons on Sunday. I'll try the under again with Detroit. Seems like they've been going under in every game. All right, here we go. It's going to be Andre says take the Pistons to win this one, and I think get the money there. Andre filling the role of Greg tonight. Thank
Final.
you, Andre. Detroit money line, though, for Hector. Oh, boy, Hector, that's going to be there. How about DeMar DeRozan for 15? There. And Mr. Wesker says can't lay 13 and Pistons team in the favored role. Yeah, as good as they've been, right? Just 16 and 19 ATS. Not that Detroit is overrated at all. Still 23 and 20, but man, for a team with such a good record that, maybe we're thought to be a sleeper team, they've certainly got plenty of respect from the bettors this season. Sacramento, they don't get any respect from bettors. They don't deserve any respect from bettors. Jalen Duren for a double-double, and Sabonis also for a double-double, says Andre. All right, next up, we've got the Nuggets taking on the Grizzlies here in this one. The Grizzlies are favored this one by 3, maybe 3.5 here, going up against the Nuggets. The Nuggets continue to be so good here despite their injury woes, right? Well, just injury woes or injury woe with Nikola Jokic out here right now, but they've done a nice job. They've won and covered again here 2 in a row. Sure, they had a little bit of a rut there, lost to the Lakers, lost to Charlotte. They have had some up and down results, but they've survived this. And Jokic isn't close to coming back here just yet. So, that's wait and see mode. But again, they've done just fine this season here, performing well in his absence. So Murray is questionable. However, Peyton Watson is questionable. Braun is out. Gordon is out. Cameron Johnson is out right now. Valanciunas is probable, but Grizzlies, Aldama, he's out. Ja Morant's out of this game as well. He's got an elbow problem. He's out indefinitely here. So a lot of missing pieces here in this one, and maybe, just maybe not the easiest matchup here for even Denver here in this one against Memphis. Everybody says, hey, let's take Memphis when Morant is out of the lineup. Maybe they'll be a little bit better in those games. These two teams did meet back in November. Denver won at 125-115 as a 6.5 point favorite. Denver's a terrific cover team here this season with a great record and a great spread record. 27 and 19 ATS, 17 and 9 ATS on the road, 10 and 5 ATS as a dog. Memphis, a poor team, 18 and 25. They're 18 and 25 against the spread, 10 and 13 ATS at home. However, 10 and 8 ATS as a favorite. They are favored in this game over Denver. I've taken advantage of some of these games where Denver's been overlooked, but I do think this actually is working against them here. I'm going to take Memphis to get this one here tonight. Look, Denver here, maybe a little bit tough on their third game of the road trip. They did beat Milwaukee 102-100 last time out. They were getting 8.5 in that one. They also won at Washington by 10 as a 6.5 point favorite. I'm going with Memphis, though, here tonight. And, hey, I've been a big backer of Denver during this injury span and been rewarded a little bit with some covers. But I'm going to try Memphis in this one to snap the 2-game losing streak right now. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we have in this game just right now. Let me scroll back here. Andre here says Nuggets on the money line. Hector says Denver on the money line. Mr. Wester's Grizz on the money line. Cal Dog on the Nuggets. And let's see here. Might be it. Andre says Joker's coming back soon. And Timmy's on the Nuggets here. I'm going to take the Memphis Grizzlies, however. All right. Warriors and Timberwolves here on Sunday. Now, this one's a write-in game. It's a makeup game from yesterday. There was some social uprisings in Minnesota, to say the least, there yesterday. So I had to postpone the game. They did play the hockey game, but the hockey team now, Minnesota hockey team plays over in St. Paul. Obviously, the Timberwolves play in Minneapolis at the Target Center, so it was a little easier to play over there in that arena in St. Paul. So the Minnesota Wild did play their game last night, and so do hope and pray that we'll be able to get this one underway. That would mean things have calmed down a little bit up there after those events yesterday. So yeah, we want to see this one get played with the Warriors. I don't know if I should go. Probably should just roll with the same play yesterday in case anyone's carrying. I don't know if there's any real reason to not stick with my play. I was on the under on yesterday's show between these two, and I'd probably just do the same thing again. I don't know. We want a little breakdown of the game here. Maybe we went over the kind of the trends and everything yesterday with the matchup between the two, but we could sneak a peek at it again here. Minnesota's gone under in 10 of their last 12 at home. They're just 2-5 against the spread in their last 7, but they have covered 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams. Talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves, Golden State still covered 6 of their last 9. They've gone over though in 5 straight coming in, but I think at home here I was preferring, especially at 235. Is that the same line as yesterday? Pretty much pick them and two. I mean, no, I'm not pick them, but oh no, it is 7 and 235. Oh yeah, let me get into this one actually a little bit. There is some news here to report. Stephen Curry is questionable actually in this game now, so we'll have to see if he makes the lineup, and I think that might be why we're seeing this definitely an increased price compared, I believe, to yesterday when the line for yesterday's game was was 6, so maybe 5.5 or 6, so maybe it's just a little bit higher right now with this questionable tag there for Stephen Curry. Also DeAnthony Melton, he is questionable, and Al Horford questionable as well. Kuminga's out here, so I'm going to just roll with the under again here. I'm not going to get too into this one. Like I said, we previewed it there yesterday. And again, Minnesota coming in here on a 4-game losing streak right now, but the Warriors have also lost 2 straight. Warriors with consecutive losses to Houston, San Antonio, Utah, and Chicago. They are just 9-13 against the spread at home and 14-21 against the spread as a favorite, but the Warriors are not exactly great as a road dog either. So I'll just take the under in this one. Minnesota 7-15 to the under at home, although Golden State 14-8 to the over on the road, and they're definitely an over team, 28-18 to the over, but just 5-6 to the under as a dog. So that's why I ended up on the under here in this one. And just note that this series was already scheduled to be a 2-game series in Minnesota. They were actually going to play Saturday night and Monday night. This will now become a back-to-back, hopefully, with the games on Sunday and Monday here right now. Let's see what the chat has to say about this game. And it's going to be Timberwolves score 140, says Jimmy. Warriors and over, says Andre. Jimmy says Edwards goes way over in his points. Oh, T-Wolves and over. Thank you. Mr. Weston. Yeah, there was a little bit of a disagreement there in that one. And let's see here. No Butler, no dice, says Andre. Well, doesn't mean no dice all year because Butler ain't coming back this season. All right. Timmy says, yeah. Well, you know what, Timmy? Maybe, yeah. I mean, look, I think NBA crowds in general are pretty liberal leaning, and yeah, I think that's safe to say. Let's see here. If Curry's out, Cal Dog might have to play. Here he comes. Now for the Warriors, Cal Dog from 3. Kuminga hurt too. Yeah, but he hasn't played in a couple weeks anyways, I don't think, right? Timmy says the Timberwolves will be motivated to put on a show here. Yeah, why not? I actually think, actually we should be bummed about the deal there, but they're not. They're just part of it, right? Probably wear some funny shirts. They probably wear some shirts with some controversial saying that'll make the righties all mad. Remember the pandemic shirts and everything? Okay, guess that's it. Or back the yeah, and the remember. I mean, we think of Minneapolis, and yes, this is a terrible situation. We think of the George Floyd, right? It's always Minneapolis. What's going on? All right, could this be Kerr's last year? It wouldn't surprise me if it is. I think he's hinted at it. I think he's hinted at it there for sure. Here right now. I know Mr. Westers would like to see Kerr out. Major lineman. Okay, let's go to the next one here. These all regularly scheduled here. Let's go to the Pelicans taking on the Spurs here. Spurs favored, pardon me, by 12 in this one. Total here 239 and a half. New Orleans coming in off of a win. How about it? The last time out over Memphis, 133 to 127. San Antonio, meanwhile, off of a win here. They've been pretty hot here lately. They're now 31 and 14. They come in off of a win over Utah. They had a Pop sighting last night. Pop was at a game in Austin, taking in a G League game. Pop was walking with a cane, but he was getting around okay. And, he's not coming back to coaching or anything, but no doubt. Oh, man, Lerner Tien just smashed Medvedev. What a loser Medvedev is. Couldn't even come through. I mean, Lerner Tien's a great up-and-coming, a good up-and-coming player, but, man, Medvedev just mailing it in here. It just looks like a goof out there right now. Okay, let's get into this one. Enough about these tennis matches. For the Spurs here, they are 11 and 9 against the spread at home. For New Orleans here, look, they've had a few moments here of late. They're definitely, struggling overall, but hey, they were able to get that cover there last time. They've actually covered here in 3 of their last 5. They're 5 and 12 ATS in their last 17 games overall. New Orleans has gone just 3 and 14 straight up in their last 17, but they've covered 6 of the last 7 meetings against the Spurs. Spurs are 2 and 4 ATS in their last 6, despite winning 4 of their last 5 overall. And San Antonio 5 and 1 straight up in their last 6 games at home. San Antonio's gone under in 11 of their last 12 games overall. New Orleans has gone under in 8 of their last 12. But look at this total. 239 and a half. Well, that gives you plenty of room to go with the under here. Now, New Orleans does go over a little bit as an underdog, 24 and 19, but San Antonio's 8 and 13 to the under at home, 11 and 19 to the under as a favorite. Do you really think that just because you're playing New Orleans, all of a sudden San Antonio's going to throw up a big number on them, or will they do it defensively more so to me? So I got to go under in this one with the Pelicans and the Spurs here on Sunday. New Orleans done well in this series. Like I said, 6 and 1 ATS overall. The two teams did meet in their first matchup back in December, and New Orleans lost 135-132, but they were getting 8.5 in that one. So Spurs have won 4 straight overall. The teams also played back in November, and San Antonio won at home, 126-19. They didn't cover in that one either. So the Pelicans actually got the money in both of them. Maybe they'll get the money again here. Okay, Cal Dog was a 3-point specialist, a rifleman. Okay, let's see here. Andre says 124 to 110. Fox for his threes. Good morning to Jermaine in the chat. Okay, Mavericks and the Bucks. Man, think about it. Mavericks have to go from blowing that lead against the Lakers in the fourth quarter. They flat out blew it. They're giving the Lakers some credit there, but all of a sudden they were on a 4-game winning streak, a big time high. They were probably counting their ways, couldn't wait to get their ready meals and go on the plane and start chowing down, playing some cards. But they thought too soon, lost that game, ended their winning streak, and now they got to go to Milwaukee right now. Right after that game, hit the plane. Does feel a little bit tough here. This feels like a real tough back-to-back for Dallas here after choking that lead against the Lakers last night in the loss. 116 to 110. They were getting 4 points. No reason they should have failed that game. I sound like a bitter gambler right there that was taking Dallas yesterday, but nonetheless, for the Mavericks here, they'll have to turn around against a Milwaukee team that, definitely having problems. Looks like Giannis is going to miss here. It looks like he might miss some time. They're on a 2-game losing streak. They've been losing left and right here right now. How the Milwaukee Bucks have lost and failed in 5 of their last 6 games. Dallas still, despite that, they're 4-1 straight up in ATS in their last 4 games. They're just 1-4 ATS, so against Milwaukee in the last 5 meetings between the two. They have played their first meeting already, and it was 118 to 114. Milwaukee won and covered at Dallas here, but still Milwaukee just 7-13 against the spread at home, 8-13 against the spread at home. However, Dallas 7-13 against the spread on the road. They're definitely a better home team, if you will. 5-14 straight up, and this one's practically a pick'em coming in. So yeah, Giannis has the injury designation here, and he's going to be missing time. We saw him walk out of the game, and nobody knew at first. You see him walking off there in his last game, but has a calf injury, and it's that same calf injury that sidelined him for so long, for extended time. So I would just expect right now that Giannis is going to be on the shelf here for a while. For Dallas here, Cisse is questionable. For the Bucks, let's see what else they have. Kevin Porter Jr. is out of this game. AJ Green questionable. Gary Trent Jr. probable. So we'll see. Maybe Dallas will feel they're definitely playing better. I mean, you got to give them credit here a little bit. Dallas has looked a lot better, and Milwaukee's been terrible. So maybe that will fire him up a little bit. To maybe be motivated enough, as tough as it might be to go on the road and win this game. Dallas has gone under in 8 of their last 12. Milwaukee's gone under in 5 of their last 7, although 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under here. So let's see what you guys have in the chat in this one with Milwaukee hosting the Dallas Mavericks here on Sunday at 7:10 Eastern, 4:10 Pacific. Let's go to the chat here. Yeah, look at Mr. West. It's a fake injury in there, right? Just trade the guy already. Let him go. Let him go somewhere and get in line. Maybe get a title run or something. You got to play for the future if you're Milwaukee. CalDog says the Mavs sold out. You mean in that Laker game or in that last game? What a disaster! I mean, they outscored the Lakers 35-14 in the third quarter to take a double-digit lead, end up blowing the game. CalDog's on the Mavs. Timmy says Mavericks and maybe the under. Mavericks defense solid, says Mr. Weskers. A real tricky team to beat. They are improving rapidly defensively. I think specifically. Cooper Flag. I mean, this guy is, taking it, almost starting to take it for granted that he is 19 years old right now, too. What's up with all these teenagers? Only if we could turn back the clock. And Marshall over his points and rebounds. Andre says they just stopped playing and they stopped attacking. Yeah, and a team like the Lakers are going to be able to take advantage of that. Even they are certainly up and down right now, but the Lakers look pretty fired up. And I don't. I was kind of believing that what kind of the experts or um, what do they call the I don't know the talking heads mostly like the beat writers or the insiders I think talking about the Lakers and I don't want people to misconstrue the stories that they're reading about the Lakers and their internal problem. There are some problems there, but those problems have been there. They're just more so coming to light. And whenever we seem to be putting the Lakers on in this category of dysfunctionality, that's when they come through. So I don't know. I kind of want to think that there's more much ado about nothing with the Lakers, especially with their decent standing. And we should. What am I doing talking about the Lakers here right now in this Dallas and Milwaukee game? Let me make my call here in this one. It looks like you guys. Let's see, Christy here over for Andre. There's Portis in there. Let's see, Portis over 2 threes at home. All right, I'm gonna take the under in this one with Dallas and Mo. I've got a lot of unders here. Wow. All right, next up, Raptors and Thunder here. Action for Sunday with the Thunder here. Big favorite. Wow, 12-point favorite in this one. Total 225.5. It may have just ticked up here in the last couple of minutes by a half a point. Thunder here off of a loss right now. Look, the Thunder have lost enough games that we've just stopped talking about any kind of record-setting thing, that's for sure. But still, they're just a mediocre. They're just a 50-50 proposition. Like I said, I can't really pinpoint whether or not they cover at home, cover as favorites at home, cover as favorites on the road. I really can't figure them out too much here as far as when they're going to cover and how they're going to cover. But they are favored by 12 here over a Raptors team that's pretty good at covering. Raptors are 14-10 against the spread on the road, 12-8 against the spread as an underdog. They've won 3 straight games over Golden State, Sacramento, and Portland on the West Coast swing. Started the trip of the loss to the Lakers, but pretty good roll here right now for Toronto and going in and take on an OKC team that they have not yet played so far this season. OKC lost to Indiana last time out. Remember, we were saying, hey, is Indiana get up for this one? And they did. They did, as OKC was kind of asleep at the wheel in that game. So Jalen Williams, the Thunder have had some injuries here too, and they've kind of been able to mask them before, but they're starting to catch up to them because you got guard Jalen Williams. He's out of this one. AJ Mitchell's out. Caruso's out. Hartenstein is out. Wiggins is questionable. So those are pieces missing. That's actually a little bit improved on their injury report, I think, over the last game. For the Raptors here, quickly questionable. Walter questionable. Murray Boyle's questionable here in this one. And that total 225. Toronto is definitely an under team here, 9-15 to the under on the road. That's really, to me, maybe the biggest thing here. Can I take another under here on this night moves? Toronto here has won and covered 10 of their last 15 games overall. Toronto just 1-5 straight up in their last 6 against the Thunder. Toronto's gone 5-1 ATS in their last 5 on the road here right now as part of that good cover string. Oklahoma City 7-2 straight up in their last 9 and 4-2 against the spread in their last 6 games overall. Oklahoma City's gone over in 4 of their last 5, and the series has gone over in 6 of their last 8 games. So we keep making Oklahoma City try to cover these spreads, and you're going up against a team like Toronto playing very, very well, it feels like right now. I think I'm going to have to take the Toronto Raptors. I think we're starting to see not flaws in the Thunder, but come on, you can't really keep going out there and rocking every team by 15 points every night, especially maybe a hard trying team like Toronto. um, I think I like the total better, but I didn't want to give out another under. I think I like the under, but let's go with Toronto in this one. I think Cal Dog might like it over. Timmy says he's on the Raptors. Oh, since I'm playing the Raptors, take OKC. He never gets. Oh, he never gets Toronto right. Okay, I get it. Jermaine says here it comes, and by the morning he's going to be buried in a giant pile of snow. All right, and Mr. Wesker's on the Raptors here. Says they're live. Maybe to even win this one. I don't mind that. This good spot to take a money line, huh? Be safe out there, everybody. Hope this is not the storm of the century, but the the schedule looks like the early days of the sports schedule, right? With all the cancellations. It made more. Now, I as someone who looks at every college basketball game, try to look at them all, and it made it more confusing for me with all the cancellation games in there. I think I even missed some games today, like who was going to win anyway. All right, let's go next to the Heat taking on the Suns. Got the Heat here, 24 and 22. They've calmed down a little bit after all the hype I gave them early in the season. We still made money with them here this year. They're a good, profitable team, but Phoenix Suns right now are just, pretty strong, man. I mean, when are you going to start to say, hey, maybe this Phoenix team can compete with, I don't know about Oklahoma City, I don't know about Denver, but man, Phoenix, I don't know. Are they the third best team in the West? They did lose last time out, did the Phoenix Suns to Atlanta, 110 to 103. We were on Atlanta in that game. That snapped Phoenix's 3-game losing streak. Miami just won last night at Utah, 147-118. Now they're shooting down here to Phoenix, and Miami is definitely an up and down team for sure right now. So, look, this number is light, man. I mean, why is it only 3.5 is what I might say here with this one. Look, Miami's done a nice job in a lot of these games. This is the 5th game of the road trip. Their 2 wins are over Sacramento and Utah. They lost to Golden State and Portland. Like I said, Miami's a decent cover, 14-10 against the spread as a dog, but the Phoenix Suns are 15-4 against the spread at home, 16-4 against the spread as a favorite here, and you're only laying 3.5. I got to take Phoenix to do it again. Come on, Phoenix has been just a boon here right now. They win every time as a favorite, it seems. Phoenix is 6-13 to the under at home, 7-13 to the under as a favorite, although Miami does trend a little bit to the over. They're 15-10 to the over as an underdog. Miami has coming in here covered 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams, but Phoenix's run not only is 15-4 ATS in last 19, 6-0 straight up at home in their last 6 games. Coming in here right now, Phoenix has gone under in 8 of their last 11. Miami's gone over in 5 straight, so they're doing what they do. Miami also over in 5 of their last 6 games on the road. So I'll steer clear. I think I like the under again, but I'll go with Miami. I mean, we'll go with the Phoenix here, lay 3.5 in this one. Okay. See what you got in the chat here a little bit. Thanks for joining me here on Night Moves. All right. Jimmy Two Shoes on the Suns. Mr. Westwood says this is what the spot he actually likes, the Heat. Cal Dog liking the Heat here as well. And let's see. I think that's it from you guys on that one. Let's get to the last game of the night here between the Nets and the Clippers this is after the football. Clippers by 8 here and 2-11 currently. We're 2-11. I mean, could you imagine after what we've seen all year. This is like a low total in the 1980s. This would have been a high total. All right. For Brooklyn here, they're off 4 straight losses again. Here we go again, Brooklyn. Consecutive losses here to Chicago, Phoenix, New York, and the Boston Celtics, although they did cover a couple of those games against Phoenix and Boston. For the Clippers, meanwhile, they come in off of a win over the Lakers, 112 to 104. Clippers, though, just 9-13 against the spread as a favorite. Brooklyn, 9-11 ATS on the road. These two teams have not or have met in their first game. Their other game of this season, Brooklyn lost 121 to 105. Final. Clippers were a 9.5-point favorite in Brooklyn in that game. The Clippers are 5-1 straight up and 4-1 ATS in the last 5 games against Clippers. Brooklyn's dropped 9 of their last 10 coming in. Clippers have actually covered 13 of their last 17 right now. It's a big turnaround here in this one, but I don't know if they've got the killer instinct on a lot of those covers here of late. Mostly they've been in closely rated games because their start was so poor that even in the games where they were favored, they were only favored slightly. So these spreads are starting to get back where we might expect the Clippers to be favored. They've covered 9 of their last 10 games at home here in the Intuit Dome. So I'm going to go under here. I'm going to say this is a real funky Clipper game that maybe the Nets do hang in here, but give me the under in this one with the Nets and the Clippers. Got you in the chat here in this one, and the NBA segment's over. And let's see, Timmy Chushu's got some stuff there. Yep. All right, and Timmy says they will crush them here. Okay, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think I'm leaning towards the Nets, but give me the under. I'll just take the under here in this one at 211. Who wants to go under with me at 211? Is it? Did it actually? Hold on a second. There might be 2. No, it's 211 or 211.5. Okay. I might be on Brooklyn there, actually. Okay, here we go. That's it for the NBA. We've got some hockey tonight. We've got a few games on the ice. Let's take a look. Okay, the Avalanche here are on the road, taking on the Leafs. Avalanche here, a big favorite on the road here against Toronto, minus 170. Look, we've seen Sacramento Avalanche here kind of get back to normal. They've had a few losses. Let's just put it that way. This has probably been the roughest streak of the year for Colorado. They've dropped 2 in a row and 4 of their last 5. I mean, they're still terrific, but have shown some vulnerability. And not only that, they were at home in a lot of those games. They've been losing at home right now for sure in their last few games. It's been pretty ugly here, actually, in some of the games, giving up a lot of goals. Colorado's lost 4 of their last 5. They've still won 10 of their last 15 on the road, and they've won 6 of the last 8 meetings at Toronto. Toronto's dropped 5 of their last 6, but have won 7 of their last 10 at home. They're on a 3-game losing streak as well right now, with losses to Minnesota, Detroit, and Vegas right here at home. They're losing these games, so these two teams can't get out of their own way. Toronto's gone over in 6 of their last 7. Colorado's gone over in 4 of their last 5. And 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Toronto's definitely an over team, 17-12 to the over at home. Colorado's been mostly an under, but not of late. They've been giving up goals. So, look, it is 6.5 flat here, but maybe I'm going to go over. We saw just how many of those games the other last night got up there in some pretty high scores. So, look, I think Colorado can finally break out of this, but I'm not going to go for $1.70, and I'm not going to lay the puck line. Give me the over here with Colorado and Toronto here on Sunday night. All right, Leafs on the puck line, says Andre. Timmy says he likes under Sunday. Under Sunday. I think he's doing you too there. Cal Dog likes the Maple Leafs. Next up, the Devils are on the road here, taking on the Kraken. And the Devils come in here with a 3-game winning streak right now. Consecutive wins for New Jersey. Man, they are playing well. 27, 22, and 2. Good record here. Wins over Calgary, Edmonton, and Vancouver here. Swept the 3 Northwest Canadian teams, and now they're dipping down to Seattle for this one. Seattle just 19 and 25 as an underdog here. These two teams, hardcore unders, I think, right? They're combined 41 and 60 to the under this season. Seattle 7 and 18 to the under at home. New Jersey's 11 and 18 to the under on the road. New Jersey's won 5 of their last 6. They've also beaten Seattle in 6 straight meetings. Seattle just 1-5 straight up in their last 6 here right now. Seattle's gone under in 6 of their last 8 games at home. New Jersey's gone under in 4 or 5. Talked about the solid unders. Well, these two teams just met 11 days ago, 3-2. New Jersey got the win at home. It was the 6th straight under between those two teams. I got to go under in this one with the Devils and the Kraken here on Sunday. And we'll see. Devils, hey, I think they're looking pretty good here. A lot of close games are coming through in close games. They're not winning by a lot, but they are winning. Usually a lot of 1-goal games, of course, for the Devils here. Here is Cal Dog. He likes the Devils in that one. Timmy wants to go with Seattle. Andre's on the Devils. And I think that's it from you guys here. Go to the next one now. Golden Knights on the road taking on the Senators here with Vegas favored $1.35, total 6.5. Vegas comes in 25, 13, and 12. They're off of a win here over Toronto the other night, 6-3 on the road, snapping a 2-game losing streak for Ottawa here. Back-to-back losses to Nashville and Carolina coming in. These two teams did meet earlier this season for their first matchup, and it was 4-3. Ottawa got the win actually in Las Vegas. So now look, I've got in here listed, and we'll see tomorrow and see what happens. But I've got Hunter Shepard in here listed in goal in the game here right now. The Senators have just recalled Hunter Shepard back up here to the big club as they made a trio of roster moves there. So Mad Sogard got sent down. Stephen Holiday got sent down. Shepard was actually up for a week recently as backup to Merlanen before he got sent back down. He did play 1 game in relief, stopping 10 of 12 shots back on Monday against Detroit. So he has experience here for sure. He's had a dozen games, I think, this season in the minor leagues so far. So Hunter Shepard's been in there a little bit this season. He's officially 0-1 with 3.33 goals against. And you got Hill here. Look, Hill's trying to get his season back on track. He's 3-1-2 with a 3.01 goals against here. I like Vegas in this one to win on the road. Give me Las Vegas, or give me the Vegas Golden Knights here at minus $1.35. I think good luck to Hunter in this one. I'm not saying he's not, going to be okay here, but I am going to go here with the Golden Knights. See what you guys have in this one with Vegas coming in here. They've heated up again, right? They've won 8 of their last 10 overall. They've beaten Ottawa in 11 of the last 13 meetings between the two teams. Vegas has won 4 of their last 5 on the road. They've also gone over in 4 of their last 5. Ottawa's gone over in 4 of their last 5, and 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Maybe we should have went over, but I'm going to take Vegas in this one. Ottawa's dropped 4 of 5 and also lost 10 of their last 15 games at home. Timmy says he got a couple of bum goalies in here over in the VGK game. But here's Andre, Vegas and under. Cal Dog likes Vegas. And Hill, he's just trying to get it going here right now. Just hasn't played but 6 or 7 games so far. Giroux to score. Or Drew to get a point. Jermaine says Vegas over in his team total here.
Steam play.
All right, next up. Penguins on the road here, taking on the Canucks in this one. And you got Yuri Patera in there for the Canucks here in this one. Hey, you got to go with somebody, I guess, if you're the Canucks, and why not try Yuri Patera in here right now? Let me see here. Let me look at this news here, though. I thought they'd said Patera was sent back down. Let me try to look at this. They had Talopolo up here for a while, and then Patera may have been sent back here. So, you know what? I'm thinking it might be Lankinen when it's all said and done. Patera's been sent back to Abbotsford, so I was just going off of a couple of sites that said that, but I'm going to go with Lankinen here, actually. It doesn't matter. Come on, it doesn't matter when you're the Canucks right now. They're not going to win this game, right? So probably at $1.45 here for the Penguins. Probably just have to go with the Penguins. I mean, got to play something here, and yeah, it's going to be $1.45, I think, but hey, got to give out a favorite now and then, and that's what I'll probably do, taking Pittsburgh here against this Vancouver team that's still looking for a win here right now. The Canucks and this terrible time they've had. They did win actually the other night, and then they followed it up with a loss there against New Jersey the other night. 5-4. They did beat Washington, though. Pittsburgh, meanwhile, 3-game winning streak at Seattle, at Calgary, at Edmonton, and now they're at Vancouver here. So, man, these Pacific Northwest teams are struggling at home. Vancouver here, real bad right now with this string, 1-9 in their last 10 at home, 1-12 in their last 13 overall. Pittsburgh's won 6 of their last 7 on the road and 4 of their last 5 overall, 8 of the last 12 over bank. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh here. Pittsburgh's gone over in 4 of their last 5. Vancouver and Pittsburgh have gone over in 5 of their last 6 games. Vancouver's a big time over at home, 16-7 to the over, but I'm just going to take Pittsburgh at minus $1.45 in this one. Take the Pens here over bank. Penguins for Andre. Penguins going to torch Vancouver. Right, I mean, that's the thing. They want to say too easy, but Crosby for an anytime goal. Jermaine's on the Pittsburgh puck line. Timmy says maybe we could get Vancouver in some kind of bet. All right, got 2 more here on the ice. And we'll look at 3 college games real quick. Get on out of here. Thanks for spending a couple hours with me here on Night Moves. The Panthers are on the road, taking on the Blackhawks with Tarasov expected, looks like, in goal. Florida, winners of 2 straight. They're 26-20-3. Chicago comes in here off of a loss last time out to Tampa Bay 2-1, but Chicago's played pretty good here this last week. For Florida, they did win last night 4-3 in overtime, and now they've got to travel down to Chicago here for this one. Hey, you know what? Watch out. Chicago's playing pretty okay here right now. I think I'm going to end up taking them in this game. Chicago's actually won 12 of the last 17 meetings against Florida at home. That's saying something. I mean, these teams, play a few times, more than play 4 times a year basically, and uh, Chicago's done the job against Florida for the most part. Now, Florida has won at home most of the times they play. They're 8-11, 8-3 actually in the last 11. But I'm going to try Chicago here as an underdog in this one against Florida here. Like I said, Florida did win last night at Minnesota. Overtime game, and now you're going down here, and Chicago's playing a little bit better here all of a sudden. So I'm going to try Chicago. They did meet already once this season. It was a 3-2 Florida one at home. Chicago's gone under in 5 of their last 7 coming in. They're 10-18 to the under at home, but Florida's a solid over team. 14-9 to the over on the road. I'm gonna just try Chicago here in this one, and we'll see what you got here. The Alex Demonauer lighting up Bublik here. Going to be a big time, easy straight sets win. And I saw a stat come across. I was making fun of Medvedev there a little bit, saying that he mailed it in. I think they said that was his first a set that he lost 6-0 at the Australian Open or something like that. Maybe in Grand Slams in a long, some kind of streak. Anyway, Cal Dog is on the Blackhawks here. Andre's with me on the Blackhawks. Hawks puck line. Bedard for a point. Hey, hello to Larry Watson in the chat. He loves Houston to win. He's got Houston to win the Super Bowl. Good job, Larry. If they do, let me know. All right. Good to see Larry in the chat. He's no CJ Stroud fan either. Maybe him and Mr. Weskers can commiserate. All right, let's see. I think I got one more here right now on the ice, and it's going to be the Ducks taking on the Flames here with this one. And, hey, the Flames are at home here where they do their best work, but still you do have a Ducks team here that coming in hot, man. Coming in hot are the Ducks again. The Ducks have to be for real. They keep having these winning streaks right now. The current winning streak is 6 games here, although they still have lost 12 of the last 18 on the road, but 6-game winning streak coming in. And I was just 1-4 in the last 5 games against Calgary coming in, but Calgary here has lost 8 of their last 11 games overall. Also, Calgary just 1-5 straight up in their last 6 games at home. Calgary has won 7 of the last 10 meetings between the two teams here, but man, they're Anaheim's hot. Calgary's actually lost 3 in a row here right now to New Jersey, Pittsburgh, and Washington, and all those games were at home where they're supposed to be, pretty decent, right? We said they're still 13-9 at home, but that's good for Calgary, but that's not good for the rest of the league, considering they're, one of the worst teams in the league points-wise. So I'm going to take Anaheim here to keep this going. This momentum right now is real solid for the Ducks, and they've got a team that they can beat here for sure. They have not yet played here yet this season. I'm going to take Anaheim tonight at Calgary. All right, let's see what you got here next up. And Larry is no fan of CJ Stroud. He's come in here just to talk about CJ Stroud. Timmy Two Shoes has, let's see here. No, he just, okay, let's see. Andre maybe on the Flames here. And Timmy says he's on the Flames. You guys are on the Flames there. Andre was on the Ducks. Sorry about that. Cal Dog on the Ducks. Dak Kush King stopping by. He's on the Ducks. All right. And see, Larry's got CJ Stroud confused with Caleb Williams, actually. Cal Dog says,
Final.
Let's see here. Oh, here's Anaheim money line for Jermaine. He says Calgary's terrible. And I think Andre's on the Ducks as well. All right, that's it for the hockey tonight. And let's go to the action here in college basketball. Look, there's only 5 games tomorrow, 6 games tomorrow out of this. There was originally scheduled to be, a typical Sunday card, probably 15 or 20 games, but several of them have already been played already, and then some of them are being moved to. I think most of them are being moved, but like Tulsa and Rice, they already played. Illinois State and Belmont moved their game up and played already. Tulane and Charlotte played. Games that have been postponed here until later in the week include Lemoyne and Fairleigh Dickinson, St. Francis and New Haven, Central Connecticut and Stonehill, Wagner and Long Island, and Fort Wayne and Indianapolis. So it's left us with, I believe here, I think a 5-game card actually. So I picked 3 games to look at. Why not here? 60% of the games. Probably could do them all, but let's just keep it the way we have it with our format a little bit, right? We just take a look at a certain percentage of the games there, really. All right. And I want to say hello to Alex Popoff, bald and bankrupt. Isn't that traveler guy that does travel videos throughout Eastern Europe, bald and bankrupt? Isn't that his name? Anybody know who I'm talking about? It's not me. All right. Yes, maybe it's me he's talking about, the degenerate gambler. Yeah. Boy, if I didn't have to bet on nearly every game, I guess I wouldn't have to be a semi-professional tout on YouTube. All right. And there's Jamal Giuseppe. Nice to see him. He's on the Ducks in there as well. All right. Okay, let me take it over to college basketball here with our 3 games we're going to look at here for Sunday. And I'm going to start off with Florida Atlantic taking on South Florida here. Florida Atlantic comes in 14-6, South Florida 12-7, but Florida Atlantic's been hot, man. And this team is young. They're good again. All of a sudden, they're good again. And not only that, this team is going to be coming on like gangbusters in the years to come. If not this year, they might be ready to go here and do something again right now. They look so good. How do they do it? Florida Atlantic right now. Florida Atlantic's won 5 straight. They've also won 5 of the 5-1 ATS in the last 6 games against South Florida. Florida Atlantic's also won 9 of their last 11. They did fail last time against Tulane, but still won by 5 at home. Florida Atlantic here is 13-5 ATS, 5-3 ATS on the road. For South Florida here, they are 8-10 ATS so far this season. Florida Atlantic won both meetings last season, including here at South Florida, 69-63 is a 2.5-point favorite. They also covered the home game. South Florida's 4-1 straight up in their last 5, 1-4 ATS, so in their last 5 at home. Here, South Florida does dominate this series. They've won 10 of the last 11 meetings between these 2 teams. But I just love what I'm seeing right now with Florida Atlantic, and they're going to be getting some points here. I'm taking Florida Atlantic probably on the money line right now. They might be able to hold. This is a big total, man. I don't know if South Florida is going to be scoring in the 80s here in this game, actually. Yes, Florida Atlantic needs to improve defensively. I think that is a given. They're not a tall team either. They don't have a lot of interior presence, but I think they're just fine. They can crash the glass a little bit. So I'm going to take Florida Atlantic here. I'm pretty high on the Owls right now. All right. And let's see here. We got some good cappers, don't we, Jamal, in the chat tonight? We sure do. FAU with the points. FAU for Mr. Weskers as well. Owls for Cal Dog. Yeah, these are the ones, right? When you see a team getting hot a little bit, look, there's no doubt I am a little bit intimidated by that 10-1 record for South Florida at home against Florida Atlantic. But look, Florida Atlantic has not been, yes, they had the incredible run, but before that, it wasn't so great. Yeah, well, not only wasn't so great, but uh, here right now in the American, Florida Atlantic 6-1 in first place, of course. Andre's on FAU as well. And South Florida right now 4-2, so they're live. They're at home, no big deal. But right now, I just think Florida Atlantic is ready to take the next step again and kind of move up and start to capture the attention, much like Eva Jovic, the young 18-year-old, is capturing. Okay, here we go. Next up, Oregon taking on Washington. Here in this one, you've got the Ducks on the road. Just 8-11 right now. Washington 10-9. These are not your typical Ducks. They are on a losing streak. Washington's not doing too well either. They've lost 3 in a row, but Oregon's lost 5 straight right now. They're 1-4 against the spread in those games. They're also just 1-5 in their last 6 games against Washington. Washington here has lost 5 of their last 6, but they've covered 4 of their last 5 overall. But now look, Washington favored by 9.5. Here is to say that the Ducks, they've been hurt, they've been injured. We know that. And that's been a big deal for them this season because of Nate Biddle. Everybody was expecting him to be a big-time player. But not only that, you got Demir's been questionable here for a while right now. So it's just been a little bit of a factor here. It does feel like it could be a blowout, actually. You don't ever see that very much. Oregon's actually won 4 straight meetings over Washington here right now, but I'm just going to take the under in this one. These guys are definitely under teams. You got Oregon going under in 6 of their last 7, Washington going under in 4 of their last 5. 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams have gone over, but you look this season, you got Oregon 2-4 to the under on the road. I'm going to go under 146 with this one. And Washington money line, Oregon's trash. Oregon got burned. Timmy got burned by Washington there. Timmy going under. Okay, and Timmy going with the under. Mr. Whiskers likes Washington, ATS, and Cal Dog on the Huskies. All right, and I got one more to look at here in the big whatever. USC and Wisconsin Big Ten action here for Sunday, and Wisconsin favored by 7.5, total 161. USC coming in here 14-5, Wisconsin 14-5. Wisconsin's on a winning streak. USC's actually lost 2 in a row just when they were starting to get that momentum going. They lost here at home to Purdue and Northwestern. So this one feels like it could be kind of tough here right now. You know, USC's been playing the Big Ten stalwarts, if you will, the old Big Ten teams. Wisconsin 9-6 against the spread as a favorite. USC is not a great spread team so far, despite that 14-5 record, and they are just 1-3 straight up as an underdog. Teams met last year at SC. Wisconsin won that one 84-69. So still looks like a big spread, but the Big Ten teams at home are doing a real good job covering right now. Big Ten teams, a good home record. USC has gone just 2-8 in their last 10 games on the road, dating back to last season. Wisconsin has won 10 of their last 11 at home. They've won 5 in a row here and gone 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. USC has gone under in 5 of their last 6 games coming into this one. Let's hear from you in the chat before I go this time on our last game. And then that's going to do it for Night Moves. 2 hours of fun with you guys in the chat. Here we go with Timmy Choo Choo's on Wisconsin Cow Dog says, give me SC and I'll take it up to 9. Mr. Wesker is like an SC here to cover this one. All right. I think that's it from everyone in the chat. So I got to make my call here with this one. Look, the move's been on Wisconsin here. I'm taking the Badgers here against SC in this one. Andre's with me. I think that's going to do it for Night Moves. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here. Really appreciate it. Be back tomorrow with more Night Moves. We'll talk about what happened in the NFL. We'll look ahead to the week ahead as well. And thanks a lot, everybody, for joining me here on the show. Head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and take a look at our premium picks over there. Always, my best bets are at Tony'sPicks.com. You know, I'm on a lot of some other channels, some other shows, but just know that my best picks are always over here at Tony'sPicks.com. Welcome back to Bo on the show, on the site, and also all of our handicappers. Make sure you use that promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 15% off the premium pick packages. I'll be ready to go here after my 2-1 performance in the UFC there on Saturday night. That's going to do it here for Night Moves. Thank you for spending some time with me here. Really enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow with more Night Moves. And for Tony'sPicks.com, I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Night Moves.